Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, thoughts find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. He is a financial prosperity coach, no other than Mr. Cj Wiggins.
Hey, how's it going, Daniel?
I'm fabulous, Mr. CJ, and welcome on Abstract Essay. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yes, man, you got it right. I'm a financial prosperity coach. Some people would call me a money coach. I actually have a business. I'm an entrepreneur where I own a tax firm here in Hawaii, and I decided to start a coaching business because I've seen a lot of people that I deal with every day that just didn't have the, let's say, the money knowledge or the psychology of money, or the, hey, CJ, can you help me figure out how to make some money? Or, hey, CJ, can you help me to figure out my taxes? Or, hey, I got a business. Hey, can you help me figure out about my bookkeeping? So I decided to, branch off, and as well as I do counseling and coaching in person, I said, hey, let me go online and let me look for some people that really need help out here. So I decided to go into coaching online.
Well, Mr. CJ Wiggins, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Thank you. And today let's talk about mindset, journey, and reality of building business. So tell us, what is the most common trait you see in successful entrepreneurs that nothing to do with the skill or intelligence?
You know what, Daniel? That's a great question. I was sitting here earlier. I read a lot of books, and I got a business partner that's located in Las Vegas. And I noticed, just talking to him and talking to other successful people, entrepreneurs, one thing we have in common is the intangibles, is the mindset, actually reading. Every day, reading something and learning something. Now, you can't necessarily tell that if you look at them, but if you actually get in a conversation with the person, you'll be like, whoa, this person knows a lot. I wonder what they do. And you will find that commonality in a lot of entrepreneurs that you meet, that, hey, this guy is actually smart. He actually knows a lot. So that's one thing that, you can't really just look at an entrepreneur and tell the intangibles.
Definitely. So, how do you navigate the emotional roller coaster of entrepreneurship, the extreme high of success, and the inevitable loss of setbacks?
You know what? I think that's a part of being an entrepreneur. I just read a quote earlier in the book, basically saying to be an entrepreneur is like jumping off a cliff and building a plane on the way down. Now, the chances that people, are building businesses that's going to fail, it's a big chance. So when I read that, I thought about all the other businesses that I have got in that I didn't do so well in. But I have a new philosophy on entrepreneurship and business, because it's all about self knowledge, it's all about learning. So if you're going to get into business, you always got to look for the next greatest person, or the next greatest book, or the next greatest, hey, podcast to learn from, or a mentor.
A mentor indeed. I like that, Mr. CJ. So, what was the moment you knew you were truly an entrepreneur and not just someone with a job or a side project?
You well, um, you said, when was the time that I knew myself?
Yes.
Me,
Yes.
you know what? I think the entrepreneurs are born, because being an entrepreneur is a risk taker, right? I knew at an early age that it was something different about me. I actually, and when I was in Florida, I lived right next door, or right across the street from a golf course, and the guys used to knock golf balls over the fence. And me and my friends were sitting there one day, and it was me. I was like, "Hey, all these golf balls in the yard. Why don't we pick up all these golf balls, put them in the egg cart, clean them up, and sell them back to the guys that's playing golf?" So, and that was like third grade, maybe fourth grade. I knew that I was different. So I would have to say elementary school. I think it's something that's in entrepreneurs to lead us on the journey, but it's always something that happens in childhood that kind of sparks the interest in entrepreneurship.
Interesting journey, Mr. CJ. And what does the myth of the overnight success get most wrong about the actual journey of building a business?
Oh man, I think a lot of entrepreneurs and people that want to be entrepreneurs, right now it's social media, right? They get a lot of things misconstrued about how much success or how quickly success can happen in business. I think one thing that earlier I talked about is reading, learning. Earl Nightingale had a quote basically saying, "It's being successful is actually working towards a goal." So it's not an end goal, it's the journey that counts. So I think that's one thing that a lot of entrepreneurs have to understand if you're going into business, that hey, let's make fun of this journey. Let's learn. So those skills that we learn, we can end up being successful down the line. Even if we end up failing or not doing too good, we're going to have that lesson, those lessons that we're going to learn.
Lesson indeed. And we need learn from our mistake and we will be successful in the future for sure. And Mr. CJ, beyond a lack of funding, what is the most common reason promising startup fail?
You know what? I will go back to self improvement. Mindset and self improvement is, I would say, 90% of business failures is not the right mindset. I sit down and I talk to people that has businesses and I ask them, they say, "Hey, I have lack of funding." We would all assume that most businesses fail right off the front because they don't have capital, you don't have money. Yeah, that's understandable. But if you was to improve yourself, improve your communication, improve your skills as a person, now you're able to bridge the gap to be a better salesman. If you're in entrepreneurship, i.e., you're in a sales position for yourself. So you have to understand sales are important to make your business successful.
Successful indeed. We want to be successful in every aspect that we are doing. Mr. CJ, what is the hardest lesson you had to learn the hard way that you wish every new founder knew?
You know what? I believe that one thing that I learned, that don't rush the process. It's a journey. I was always the one, hey, being an entrepreneur, crazy entrepreneur, I want to run straight into something. That's what we do. We run straight into it. But over the years I learned, and just being in the finance realm, doing taxes and stuff, you got to be really mindful and careful on how quickly you interact, or you want to be successful in business, how fast the process go. And that's one thing I was like, all right, quick. And it's like, it's a journey, because it's self continuously a journey where you're learning about yourself, your business, and developing skills in the business world.
For someone with a full time job and a business idea, what is the first most practical step they can take to start validating it?
You know what? I would say you can get started if you have a business, and if you have a job in the business at the same time. The best thing you could do is just to get started. Now, I wouldn't say quit your job. Most people that I know personally, they want to start a business. They still have a job, and I always recommend them, to stick with the job until you're able to make enough money in your business to quit your job.
Mr. CJ, on the strategy and execution, how do you know when to pivot versus when to preserve or persevere on your current path?
Oh, that's a good question, Daniel. Well, I think that takes a certain belief in self. Uh, if you don't have belief, then nothing else really works, right? So I would say have extreme belief in yourself. I meant extreme belief, faith, and anything you do in faith, you do over and over and over again. That means you're doing something with confidence. So if you're doing something over and over and over again, to me, and my belief is that you're gonna be successful in that journey, the business journey that you're in. So that's what I would say.
What is the underrated business skill that entrepreneur often neglect until it's too late, Mr. CJ?
The underdeveloped skill, I would say sales. I would go back to sales, learning every and anything about sales. I read a lot. I read a lot of sales books. Jim Rohn, the motivational speaker, said sales is the ability to transfer emotions. So if you're able to get people interested in what you are selling, and look, it's not about you, it's about it's about the client or the customer. It's never about you. So you need to be able to communicate with that client that, hey, I'm here to solve a problem. So if you develop those skills in sales, you can be successful.
How do you balance the need for rapid growth with building sustainable and healthy company culture?
Hmm, that's a good one. Oh, you know what? I think that if you are a person that is, a, I guess like a friendly person, I guess a person that like within my business, I have people that work for me, and I actually work with them. Something that I've learned, you know, by having people working in a team atmosphere, is the ability to relate to each other. I think that helps, you know, the work atmosphere, and help generate success within the business.
Mr. CJ, as a financial prosperity coach, what are your short term and long term goals?
Oh, as a coach myself, is to at least have a seven figure coaching business. I do have a mastermind business too, where I have a group of guys that I actually communicate with every week. But I don't run that actual mastermind, but I'm starting up my own mastermind. So I see the benefit of having several groups that can generate you, hundreds of thousands or even seven figures or above in coaching. So that's my goal as a financial prosperity coach.
Good luck to your goals, Mr. CJ, and looking forward for more
Yeah.
success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people that don't want to be a coach like you?
You know what? It's self development. You always have to reach. You always have to have one hand up and one hand down, and that's the mean saying you always have somebody that you are mentoring you and somebody that you can mentor. So it's kind of like a big circle. I always say that. I think if you're going to get into coaching, work up under another coach, uh, learn from another coach, learn from books, learn from any resource possible. Learn from podcasts like yours, Daniel. Come on and listen to people talk about their story, their coaching business. That's how you would, if you're trying to get into coaching. And obviously, I'm a coaching person. I'm a real life coaching person, so I coach people. Online, yeah, it's a little different, but in person is very intense too. With working on people one on one. So if you can't necessarily get yourself out there online, be a coach in your community. Start in your community first.
Thank you for that, Mr. CJ. Thank you for that advice. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Ooh, I can show them to you right now. So right
Please.
here, Jim Rohn book. These are the authors that I talked about. The 7 Strategies to Wealth and Happiness. Brian Tracy's book, The
Yes.
Psychology of Selling. Zig Ziglar book on selling. And then one of the most brilliant guys, prosperity and wealth coaches, speakers, Les Brown, Live Your Dreams. All of these books help me as a coach. It downloads me with all the information. Now, some of these authors are passed on, a couple of them are still alive. So I always go back and learn from the guys that came before me because nothing is new under the sun.
Thank you for those recommended books, Mr.
Yes.
CJ. Thank you so much. And what is the single piece of recommendation you ever receive as an entrepreneur?
Ooh, man, that's a good one. I get those because I have a lot of mentors, right? I get those all the time. The single most, I hate to sound so cliche when saying this, but it just keeps coming up in different podcasts I did. Just trust the process, trust yourself, you know, in business, trust yourself, don't doubt yourself. And as an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur since 2009. It always comes up. I always question myself with new entrepreneur endeavors, right? I have a business and I help people, but it's always that lingering thing, you know. And my mentors always saying, hey, trust the process. So that's what I'm doing to help other entrepreneurs trust their self, trust the process, stay motivated, learn, do everything you can to build yourself in business, to learn something new, to help somebody, to service the people. That's what's important.
Trust the process indeed. So, Mr.
Yes.
CJ, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please listen to my other podcast, people, my other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in 5th season. Abstract poetry in 2nd season, and my book 101 review in 5th season too. Comedy 101 in 2nd season, and my food 101 in 5th season as well. Geography 101 in 1st season, on my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in 3rd season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in 4th season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in
Wow.
each of 1st season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. CJ, tell us if you could start your journey over again with the knowledge you have now, what would you do differently?
Oh man, I don't think I would do. I wouldn't do nothing different. I don't think I would end up where I'm at right now. If it wasn't for the journey, right? So this whole time, I would say, like Earl Nightingale said, is basically, it's the journey that makes you successful. As long as you're heading in that direction of a goal, then you're successful. So that's been many years for me in business.
Mr. Cj Wiggins, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Hoping
Yes.
for more and more empowering coaching to come. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your coaching, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yes. So thanks, Daniel. So my business, you could go to my website here, Coach Claudius J website, and then I also have a YouTube page where I put videos up. Claudius J. I do offer free coaching, first consultation session, just to see where you at in your business and how I can help you to generate more money, to help you on some tax strategies, just to help get your mindset right. Because that's the biggest thing that as an entrepreneur we have the hang up on, is getting our mindset right and building our confidence to succeed in business. So reach out to me. You can also reach me at Hawaii Tax Wealth Solutions.com.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. CJ Wiggins because we support him for sure. More and more empowering coaching to come, more and more empowering business to come. So, Mr. CJ, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon.